I'm Madison Norris, and I'm very pleased to be here with everyone. I am the Executive Vice President of Creative Operations at Round Hill Music, and Zinc is an umbrella company within Round Hill Music. I started off as an artist and writer, gigging around New York City, playing in bands, signed a small publishing deal as a writer, and I wound up taking a job at a boutique sync representation company called Zinc Music. And that was about 18 years ago. There were 3 people there at the time, and they were one of the first sync licensing and rep companies. So Zinc became a very profitable sync licensing company and was purchased by Round Hill Music about 5 years ago. So we brought over our entire team to Round Hill Music with about 12 people. And now I am running the licensing and creative team at this indie publisher, Round Hill Music. We are a full-fledged music publisher and record label, and we work with a lot of catalog artists, legacy artists, but also new frontline music as well. We might represent one of your favorite new songs that you're just hearing about, or we might work with a song that has been known and loved for decades. What is synchronization? Synchronization is the synchronizing of music to picture. So when you see something visual with music in the background or in the foreground, that is synchronization. It is the matching up of music to picture. And it could be in your favorite TV show, in a film, in a trailer, in advertising, or in a video game. I would like to give you an example of a typical synchronization for a brand new songwriter. Now, this is interesting because there is no typical. Sometimes when a new artist is coming onto the scene, someone that no one's ever heard of, it really depends on who's interested in using the song and what they're going to use it for. It's quite possible that the first use of an unknown artist might be for a small TV show. And because the artist is unknown, they don't have a lot of sync history, it might be a small fee. It might be on the lower side. It might be on a little bit of a higher side, dependent on the budget of the show. Each show has a different budget. It depends on what their music budget is deemed by the network or by whoever is producing the show. So it depends very much on that set budget. If you are a more well-known artist with a bigger sync history, you're going to command bigger fees. But it's also quite possible, and we've seen this, that let's say Samsung wants to use this amazing song by this unknown artist that just works so perfect for their campaign. And let's say it's a worldwide advertisement. And there's a lot of brands that want to be the first to use a song, the first to discover an artist. We find with a lot of our advertising clients that they want something that's never been used before. And, it's very dependent on how big of a use it is. Is it a big commercial that's going to run worldwide? You could be making 100, 150, 200 grand. And obviously that goes upward if you're a more well-known artist. So the more that you're out there, the more that you're touring, the more that you're, doing your social media and connecting with your fans and building your fan base, the bigger you are, the bigger fees you can command. And the more sync history that you have under your belt, the more you can say, well, this artist is typically used to getting fees in this range. So then your licensor, your publisher can push the fees up. And there's always a negotiation. If it's a low fee, we might say, for this artist, this campaign, this use could be really cool for them. It could be reaching a new demographic for them. So we might say this fee's okay. It's a low fee, but even to a small artist, a little bit of money can go a long way. And, as a publisher and as a sync licensor, we're really aware of how, those kind of opportunities can also move the needle for an artist. How we determine what we're going to charge for an artist for a sync use is really varied, dependent on the project. For a worldwide commercial that's going to air around the world on broadcast, on television, the fees are naturally just much higher. For an independent artist, again, dependent on the TV show, dependent on the film. If this is going to be the closing song for a film, you're going to get a little bit more than just like a little snippet in the middle of the film. If it is a trailer use, that tends to be more along the lines of like an advertising use. So if it's a trailer, that budget for what they're going to pay you for the use of the song comes out of the marketing budget. So it's a different pot that they're pulling the money from. It tends to be a lot more. So you're going to get more for a trailer than for a use in a film. And that tends to get seen, again, on broadcast or before you're watching a movie, you see a trailer for a movie. So that could be a really great use. Another use that might get more money stream for you would be a promo. So when you're seeing like advertising for like a bunch of new shows coming out on HBO with those, kind of buzzwords of like new beginnings, new starts, get it right here, songs that kind of emphasize like something really exciting happening, that's a promo. And promos tend to pay more money as well. So it kind of depends. If it's just a small TV show, a kind of, maybe 20, 30-second clip in a TV show, a couple grand. A bigger use, more territory, North America, the world, you're going to get more money for that. If you're talking about a use that's going to be 6 months versus 2 years, there's going to be a difference in money, right? Like you're going to get paid less for a smaller, less time versus something that's going to be airing for 2 years. Another great thing that can happen is you could get renewals. So if you get one great advertisement and then let's say the brand says, you know what, this is working really well for us. We did this for a year. We love the song, how it works to picture. We'd like to renew this. We'd like to do this for another year. Then you're going to get another fee on top of that. I mean, there's been some, campaigns that we've been working with an artist for, that just keeps renewing. And it's just like, this is amazing. So, that can happen as well. And then the other thing I'd say with sync, it's like, something you can't predict. You can't say, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a bunch of syncs. After you send the music to the supervisor, the creative, the brand, then they have to make completely different decisions based on how it reacts, what other feedback they're getting. It might change based on fees. They might end up not having enough money. After you make the music and you put it out there and you get it in front of people, then it's just really the stars aligning. So as a songwriter or an artist, it's really important that you diversify, that you're not only saying, I'm just going to write music for sync. You need to be able to release the music, write authentic music, and also, tour or, release your music online. You can't just be writing for sync because it's not predictable. Should a new songwriter allow their music be used for free in order to build a sync history? My answer, from the perspective of an artist, songwriter, also on the business side, I would say no. And I would say no to that simply because being in this business over a decade, I've seen a lot of trends and a lot of shifts. And I think one of the most important things that we can do for artists and songwriters is to protect the value of music. We sometimes have to turn down opportunities where it just does not make sense financially to license music for a certain number because it's a slippery slope. Now, I'm not saying we don't ever do that. I'm not saying that it never makes sense. And if we do license for gratis, is there something, a cause, a charity that's really close to someone's heart? Is it a really beautiful visual? Is it really stunning? Is it going to move the needle? Is it going to really connect in a way that's going to either mean something to the artist or visually capture, someone to say, what is that song? And then you're talking about, can you get a chyron? Are you going to get a credit? How are you going to connect the dots so that it brings it back to you as the artist to move the needle if you're not going to get paid? When we have done it, it's been on a non-precedential basis, right? It's like, this is not what we normally do. This is a favor. This is, whatever it is. But you have to protect the value of your music because we've also seen that sync has been an incredibly valuable source of revenue for artists. And it's grown so much. And so we really do need to protect it. We have seen it when we have gotten artists, independent artists, syncs where they're like, I was able to buy a tour bus. I was able to, make a down payment on a house so that I could have a home studio. I was able to make my music videos, release my music independently because I couldn't get signed by a label. We've seen all of that happen because of the sync revenue. So I think we have to protect it. And I'm not saying that there's never the case where that shouldn't be done. everything is case by case, but on the whole, I'd recommend not doing it just to protect the value of your music and your art.